All right, welcome back to our regular commission meeting. I'm going to turn it back over to Commissioner Holmes so she can finish giving her commissioner's report.
I'm not sure where I left off, but I was speaking on the Tennessee Downtown's Community Development Program, a 24-month program that coaches us through how to revitalize our downtown. It's a competitive process. They accept applications every 2 years, and for us, we have started that process. And in January 2026 is when I believe that application is due. I also mentioned some of the business owners that were involved in downtown. It's pretty much from Euclid to about Ashland Terrace, right in that area. And that's all I have for today.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. And finally, we have a report from Commissioner Wilson.
Good evening, everyone. Not much out on my part. My colleagues have it pretty well covered, but I will add that the White Oak Bicycle Co-op is accepting bikes and bike locks. You can see their donation locations on whiteoakbike.org. The bike locks are kind of an overlooked aspect. These bikes go to folks in need, and if they're storing their bike outside of their place of work or residence, it can be gone overnight. So, if you have one laying around and you don't use it, consider donating it. That's what I got. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next, we have the city manager's report. Mr. Graham.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Commission. Much of my report has already been covered too. I would just simply add that the condition of our elected judge, John Houston, has not changed. During Judge Houston's absence, a total of 5 judges have covered 6 court dates, and we are grateful to them all for their assistance. Yesterday's court was presided over by Lookout Mountain's Judge Stevie Persinger. We are grateful for Judge Persinger's assistance. As you know, beginning December 8, we will have Judge Haas on a regular basis. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Graham. All right, the time has come for public hearings. Thank you very much.
Okay.
First item is a presentation of the final plat for acquisition of property via donation by Hill Point Homeowners Association. I'll now open the public hearing and invite Director Slade to come up and speak on this.
Thank you. This is more housekeeping. If you recall, over the past couple of months, Parks and Recreation, Jeffrey Gravy, along with TPL, has come to commission in regards to the project. As you say on the plat, it reflects where the homeowners association is dedicating property to the city. This will be incorporated into the parks, and more so, it is one of our privately held cemetery. There's a historical cemetery there that this parcel we will take ownership of. This is the last process of the ordinance for the acquisition or disposition of public property. So this is the public's opportunity to see that plat as it is now surveyed and it's ready for recording.
Thank you, Director Slade.
Thank you.
And the time now is for public comments. Mr. Graham.
Thank you, Mayor. We are now in a public hearing for the matter before us. Please note these guidelines for speaking. Initial comments are limited to 3 minutes or less, and the city recorder will operate a timer. If time expires, please respect her direction and conclude any comments. Comments should be addressed to the board as a whole and not to a particular commissioner or to city staff or to the audience. Public hearings allow citizens to share their views, which helps the commission make informed decisions. At the discretion of the mayor, some dialogue on the matter may be allowed. While a dialogue may be permitted, the principal purpose of a public hearing is to listen. So questions may go unanswered and issues may go unresolved. At this time, citizens are invited to the podium to speak. Please begin by stating your name and address.
All right, if we have no public comments, we'll close that public hearing. Move on to item B, intent to exceed the recertified tax rate to 1.1306 for $100 of assessed property value. Ordinance number 25-1295. We'll now open this public hearing and hear from Mr. Graham.
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. And thank you, Director Perry, for the slides. We are here tonight to present ordinance 25-1295, the general revenue ordinance for the current fiscal year 26. I am assisted by Director of Administration and Finance, Tracy Perry, and we're both standing in for our CFO, Chris Pickle, who's on holiday. The purpose of the ordinance is to correct the previously certified tax rate. It amends an earlier ordinance, 25-1282, and establishes the general revenue tax rate at 1.1306, a tick over $1.13, for FY26, the current fiscal year. Background: this is a reappraisal year. Tennessee municipalities undergo property reappraisal every 4 years, according to statute. The process updates fair market values and yet maintains revenue neutrality. The year 2025 is a reappraisal year for the city of Red Bank. However, there were errors made in the establishment of the certified tax rate. It was incorrectly set at 0.8968. According to the State Board of Equalization, once tax bills are mailed, and they have been mailed, there is no way to correct the error until the next year. This error created a budget revenue shortfall in FY26 approved budget. The correct tax rate determination. The correct revenue neutral certified tax rate was jointly determined to be 1.0775. I take under $1.08. The corrected certified tax rate memo from the comptroller titled corrected 2025 certified tax rate and dated 26 November, and the assessor's corrected certified tax rate calculation form are both posted on the finance section of our city webpage. To meet budgetary needs, the required tax rate for FY26 is set at $1.1306, 1.1306, a tick over $1.13. Per $100 of assessed value. This is the tax rate that would have produced the budgeted property tax revenue of $5,512,500. This is the public hearing that was duly advertised for this effort. The ordinance details will be reviewed and public comments will be received. Key provisions. This ordinance establishes a tax rate of 1.1306 per $100 as assessed value for FY26. It serves as the official general revenue ordinance and amends prior inconsistent ordinances, including 25-1282. This ordinance is enacted for the purposes of properly establishing the correct tax rate of 1.1306 for each $100 of taxable property for FY25-26. A couple of additional notes. Because FY25-26 tax bills have already been issued and partially collected, the city cannot collect the marginal difference in corrected taxes. The resulting budget shortfall is estimated to be $762,286 this fiscal year. Now I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Public hearing.
Yeah, I think for the public hearing,
Okay,
we'll hold off on that until the vote.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, the time now is for public comments, and the same guidelines apply as Mr. Chairman just previously went for the prior public hearing. Do you have comments to give? Please step up to the podium and give your name and address. Okay, if there are no comments, we'll go ahead and close this public hearing. Thank you. And we will move on to our consent agenda, which contains the November 18th meeting minutes, 4 new appointments to the festival and Parks and Rec advisory boards, approval of amendment number 1 to ADA project pin number 130774, and approval of a budgeted air compressor purchase. Are there any items that the board wants to move to the regular agenda for further discussion? If not, do I have a motion to approve as published?
I'll move.
Motion from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey, and I have a second from Vice Mayor Barry. Any discussion?
Thank you to all of our citizen volunteers who have stepped up to our advisory boards. It's really amazing work that they do.
Thank you. Any comments by the residents present? If there are no comments, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to unfinished business, item A, ordinance number 25-1292, an ordinance of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, appointing Attorney Brian Haas to preside over the city court in the absence of Red Bank City Court Judge Johnny Houston. Second and final reading. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
A motion from Vice Mayor Barry. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Commissioner Holmes. Any discussion? Any comments from the residents present? There are no comments. Ms. Perry, can you please call the vote?
Mayor Dalton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Barry,
Yes.
Commissioner Fairbanks Holmes,
Yes.
Harvey, Commissioner Holmes,
Yes.
Sadly, yes.
and Commissioner Wilkinson.
Yes.
Motion carries on second and final reading. Moving on to new business, item A, ordinance number 25-1293, an ordinance of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, appointing Attorney Brian Haas to preside over the city court in the absence of Red Bank City Court Judge Johnny Houston for January 12, 2026 through February 10, 2026, first reading. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
A motion from Commissioner Wilkinson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
A second from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey. Any discussion?
Sounds familiar.
Any comments from the residents present? If there are no comments, Ms. Perry, can you please call the vote?
Mayor Dalton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Barry,
Yes.
Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey,
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkinson.
Yes.
All right, motion carries on first reading. Item B, ordinance number 25-1294, an ordinance of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, to amend the Red Bank Municipal Code, Title 20, Chapter 1, known as the Red Bank Air Pollution Control Ordinance, to provide for increased permit and certificate fees. First reading. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
From Commissioner Holmes, do I have a second?
I'll second.
From Vice Mayor Barry. Director Slade, you want to come up and maybe give a quick summary?
Absolutely, I apologize. It's one of those evenings, right? This is more a housekeeping effort. We do not actually administer these regulations, but we are responsible to make sure that they are adopted locally so that they can be implemented across the county.
And this was related to fees, a fee schedule update.
Just like everyone across the board, they had an increase in some of their fees and their certificate costs. So this is their way to increase that for their upcoming budget. Thank you.
All right, do we have any discussion?
No, it's just amazing how many varied options there are in this incinerators and burning and all those times.
Levels, yes,
Mhm.
it was a lot.
Thankful we can have protection and then
Mhm.
people pay for it.
All right, any comments from the residents present? There are no comments. Ms. Perry, can you please call the vote?
Mayor Dalton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Barry,
Yes.
Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey,
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkinson.
Yes.
All right, motion carries on first reading. Moving on to item C, ordinance number 25-1295, an ordinance of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, to provide for the general revenue thereof for the fiscal year 2026, amending ordinance number 25-1282, first reading. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
Motion from Vice Mayor Barry, do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Wilkinson. Mr. Branham, did you have anything else that you wanted to discuss?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Commissioner Holmes, did you have a question?
Yes. So the 1.0706 to the 1.13 would have been if it was the 89 cents to the 98 cent, the same ratio.
Yes, ma'am, that was the intent back then, and that would be the same effect now.
Even though no revenue is coming from it, it was just the intent, like you said.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
To correct the record.
Yes. In the budget, when we set the levy originally, well, actually in the budget process, which was caught up in the reappraisal process. So we went through the budget process without establishing the tax levy, and that's not very often the case. It's atypical, but sometimes it happens when the reappraisal numbers are not available. So our budget produced we just spoke in terms of dollars, and that's when the $5,500,000 number, that was the budgeted revenue from property taxes that we baked into the budget. When the reappraisal process completed, and this played out in August and September, is when we set the levy. And that's when the conversation was around the certified tax rate was originally stated at about 89 cents. And so to achieve the higher level of revenue, basically a tax increase, we had all the public hearings around a tax increase to set the tax levy at a higher rate to produce more revenue, the $5,500,000. And that equated to what we then understood to be a 98-cent tax rate. Fast forward to now, and we realized those levy numbers were incorrect. The certified tax rate was not the 89 cent, and the tax increase that when we set it at a higher level of 98 cents, it didn't produce any tax increase. In fact, it was a drop in taxes, is what we're actually experiencing. So now, fast forward to now, we're setting the record straight that if in fact the certified revenue neutral tax rate is $1.07, our need for revenue is higher than that, and we're now setting it at $1.13, 1.1306. Realizing that we're still not going to actually, in fact, receive those revenues. We are looking at about a $750,000 budget shortfall this year. And we'll be back to the commission in January to really talk through what that revenue shortfall means.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Graham. Do we have any other discussion? Any comments from the residents present? If there are no comments, Ms. Perry, can you please call the vote?
Mayor Dalton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Barry,
Yes.
Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey,
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkinson.
Yes.
All right, motion carries on first reading. On to item D, ordinance number 25-1296, an ordinance of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, amending the zoning ordinance and maps of this city to rezone property located at 2633 Simpson Avenue from R1 residential to RTZ residential townhouse 0 lot line, first reading. Mr. Dunn.
The request is to rezone 2633 Simpson Avenue. Just wanted to remind you that I had a public hearing on November 18th for both parcels. We're treating them as the same rezoning request, but there's two different ordinances. And just to add to my earlier presentation, these rezoning requests are really incremental decisions that we're making for the benefit of Red Bank as a whole. And so while we may have some residents in the surrounding neighborhood that feel like there's a really big impact happening for them, there's also a lot of benefit that the city as a whole is going to be gleaning from this. We know that we have a low housing stock and a high housing need. And so adding one more house here and one more house there on the north end or on the south end, being able to do these small incremental development changes is really impactful. And so that's another reason why staff and planning commission are recommending this rezoning. And I did want to address, the public hearing, there was a petition that was brought, and they addressed a couple of things in that petition. One was increased traffic and congestion. We don't really see that as a threat to this neighborhood. Again, it is just one more very small house, so I doubt that there's going to be much more traffic on that street. And there was another concern about road condition there, which is really not the concern of the property owner who's making the request. That's really the city's purview, and that's our jurisdiction. And so, we have a public works department that is working on a pavement management index. So at some point when we get through the indexing, then we'll know when that road is ready for repaving, and at that time, then we'll have a beautiful new street there. There was also a comment about loss of green space and privacy. And I think this is kind of self-explanatory, but it's not really appropriate to claim someone else's property as your green space and private space. But that is a comment that comes up quite frequently on these rezoning requests for vacant lands that are being turned into housing. So yeah, and like I said earlier, the request is recommended by the planning commission unanimously and by the staff as well.
Thank you, Mr. Van.
Mhm.
I have a question. I don't know if you can answer it or the owner can answer it, but one of the comments that I looked at the minutes from December 2023 when this was first brought to the planning commission, and then also having listened to some of the comments and read through the petition. One of the comments that I saw was talk about street parking, vehicles parking on the street. I believe that there are going to be garages in these homes. Is it to fit 1 or 2 cars?
Regardless of whether there's garages or not, the zoning code for the RT zone requires 2 dwelling units per house. So whether it's
2 parking units?
2 parking spaces
Per dwelling unit.
per dwelling unit, yeah.
Okay, and so and it looks like Mr. Cody is saying there will be a 2-car garage attached to each of those homes. So surely the cars would not be spilling out of the garage into the driveway and on the road, blocking the road.
From the concept site plan that I saw, they also have, it looks like a 16-foot driveway, which is, I mean, you could then have 4 cars there, 2 in the garage and 2 in the driveway, but
Okay. Thank you. That was the biggest comment that I saw that you hadn't addressed yet, so I appreciate that. Does anyone have any other questions for Mr. Ham or the property owner this time? Okay, if not, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
A motion from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
From Commissioner Holmes. Is there any further discussion?
I just want to add once again, it was mentioned I mentioned in the work session that 2 homes are currently allowed by right in that space. And so this zoning change only increases, as Mr. Pham said, from 2 potential homes to 3. And also at the same time, opens up the potential for those 3 homes to be maybe smaller and somewhat more affordable than 2 larger homes would be. Also, regarding privacy and green space, if 2 homes were built there by right, it would be no less of an intrusion on the perceived privacy and green space than 3 homes would be. And regarding the road condition, 3 homes, even though each individual home will hopefully be more affordable than 2 larger homes would be to the buyer, 3 homes provides more property tax revenue to the city, which makes it more feasible for us to be able to repave those roads on a more frequent basis. So I'm grateful for the developer for coming up with a plan that I think will be appropriate. And I look forward to welcoming the 1 more family that will get to call Red Bank home as a result of this rezoning.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, and thank you for mentioning that. That was the other comment that I saw from the handful of comments from December 2023 was that they were not very fond of the idea of 4 homes, which was proposed initially, but they were amenable to 3 homes. And so that is where we are currently at. And I think it fits well with our comprehensive plan for incremental development and infill development to increase housing stock. So as Mr. Pham noted earlier. Any other comments or questions? Okay, any comments from the residents present? All right, if there are no comments, Ms. Perry, can you please call the vote?
Mayor Dalton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Barry,
Yes.
Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey,
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkinson.
yes.
All right, moving on to item E, which is a continuation of the prior ordinance, ordinance number 25-1297, an ordinance of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Red Bank, Tennessee, amending the zoning ordinance and maps of the city to rezone property located at 2633E Simpson Avenue from R1 residential to RTZ residential townhouse 0 lot line, first reading. Circumstances are the same as just discussed, so do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
I have a motion from Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey. Do I have a second?
Second?
Second from Vice Mayor Barry. Any further discussion? Any comments from the residents present? All right, there are no comments. Ms. Perry, can you please call the vote?
Mayor Dalton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Barry,
Yes.
Commissioner Fairbanks Harvey,
Yes,
Commissioner Holmes,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilkinson.
Yes.
All right, motion carries on first reading. Time has now come for citizen comments from resident citizens on items not on the agenda. Mr. Brennan.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the time for citizen comments. Please observe these rules. Comments are limited to 3 minutes or less, and the city recorder will operate a timer. Please respect your direction and conclude comments if time expires. Comments should be addressed to the board as a whole and not to a particular commissioner or to city staff or to the audience. The commission is here to listen, not to respond or engage in back and forth, so please do not expect a reply during citizen comment. Citizens are now invited to the podium. Please begin by stating your name and address.
All right, if we have no citizen comments, do I hear a motion to adjourn? I have a motion from Commissioner Holmes and a second from Commissioner Wilkinson. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.